1.6, we're going to be dealing with mean, median, mode. Our last test has to do with probability and statistics. Okay? So there is a thing called measures of central tendency. And these measures describes the set of data when you collect them and you analyze them. Okay, there are three measures of central tendency, which we already talked about. The first one is called the mean. That's one of the measures of central tendency. And another word for mean, Liz said it was average, right? And Jose, how do you find average? Yeah. Cameron?
Add them all up and then divide by how many numbers there were?
Yeah, so you want to get the sum of the data, you add them all up, that's what the sum means. And then you divide by the number of data. Okay? So add them all up and divide by the number of data you collected. That's how you find the mean, which is another word for average. Second measure of central tendency is called the median. And I think, Isaac, you said this was the middle number, right? Did you say that or somebody else said? Somebody did? But remember, the numbers have to be in order from least to greatest. Yes. Excuse me?
I have a question.
When I'm done.
Well,
And after the numbers are in order, this is the middle number. Okay? And then the third one is mode, and it's the number that occurs most often.
What if you have like an even or odd amount?
Say it again.
For median, what if you have an even amount?
Oh, I'm going to show you. Okay? So those are the three measures of central tendency. So some of the test questions or some of the assignment questions going to ask you, after you find these three, they're going to say which measure of central tendency describes your data the best. Okay? And I believe it's pretty subjective. So you pick, by looking at the set of data and which one makes sense the most, you decide which measure would describe your data the best. Okay? And then the range is itself. What is range? Bless you. Kyle, say it again one more time. Yeah, it is the biggest number minus the smallest. So I want to know how wide my data is, okay? So to find the range, big number minus the little, okay? So any questions with all these definitions? We're good? So everybody knows mean, median, mode, and range? Is that a yes? Okay. Let's start with example number 1. We are going to find the mean, the median, the mode, and range. Okay? I'm going to find all of them. Bless you. Here's your data. Ready? 14, 10, 12, 13, 2, 16, 11, and oh, should we have 15? There we go. Okay? What do we do first? Yes? Put them in order. I agree, 100%. Put them in order first. So what's my smallest number? 2. And then? 10. Okay? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And you said 16? There we go. I think that covers it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. I got 8 data. Now, do you know what an outlier is? What is an outlier?
The one that comes, like, doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, the one that doesn't make sense. Well, do we have an outlier here?
Two.
2. 2 is an outlier. Everybody is in this range, right? But 2 is way away from here. So this is called an outlier. So now let's do the easiest first. Ready? Let's do the mode. Is there a mode? No, why not, Cameron? No numbers repeat. So there is none. No mode. Okay. Let's do the median. Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to know halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here is halfway up. Yes, Liz, what's my median? Now, I want the number between them. What's the number between 12 and 13?
12.5.
So you could add 12 plus 13, divide by 2, which is 12.5. Or you could just look at it and look at, oh, what is the number between 12 and 13, which is 12 and a half. Okay, so you could do it either way. Okay, but when you have an even number of numbers, it's the number in middle between the two numbers. Okay? Just adding it and divide by 2. Okay? Any questions about finding the median? No? Okay. Now let's find the median. The mean. How do I find the mean again?
Add them all together and divide them.
Yeah. So let's add them together. I got 2 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15 plus 16 all over. We said there were 8 numbers. Say it again. 80. That was quick. 83 over 8, which gives me 10 and 3/8, let's say. Okay, 10 and 3/8. That will be the mean. Thank you, Larson. So add them all up, divide by 8, number of numbers. That's my the mean average. Let's find the range. So what are my two numbers? What do I? 16 minus 2, which gives me 14. Okay? So? You do not have, well, if you want, you could say outlier would be 2. Okay, but I don't think they're going to ask you about an outlier on the homework. Okay? Any questions about how to find the mean, median, mode, range?
Nope.
Easy peasy stuff? Okay. Now next one, kind of like a word problem. I'm going to show you in a little bit. Okay. All right. Example number 2. Welcome. Example number 2. We are going to, if they give you an average, would you be able to find the missing number? Would you be able to do that? Okay, so suppose your grade on 3 tests are 82, 94, and 89. Okay, those are your scores on your 3 tests. You score 4 points more on the 4th test than the 5th test. What scores do you need to get an average of 93%? And don't say try and error. So you're going to have to write an equation, and then I want you to solve. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through this. This is not as hard as you think it is, okay? So be ready. Is everybody done writing? Okay. All right. So, well, if you noticed, you score 4 points more on the 4th test than the 5th test, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to let X be the 5th test score. Because we don't know what that is. And if you score 4 points more on the 4th test, what would be the 4th test score?
X plus 4.
X plus 4, thank you.
Oh, we're back to this again. I hate it. I hate when we have to do this.
Okay? And they gave us the average. They said average is 93. So you know when we add them all up and divide by the number, we got to get 93%, right? And you know there are 5 tests. So you divide by 5. Well, here's your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Those are the numbers that we got to add up. Okay? And the average has to equal 93. So, first test we got 82, right? Plus. Second test we got 94, right? Third, 89. What do we get on the 4th test?
X plus 4
So X plus 4 goes in there. And the 5th?
plus X.
Plus X. That's how you set up the equation. Okay? Any questions so far? I'll give you a second to write this down. Now let's add up the numbers. 82 plus 94 plus 89 plus 4
6.
is what?
Wait.
It's 265. 265. Is that what we got?
That's
Okay. And then what's x plus x? Not x squared, but
2X.
2x. Now when you do x times x, that's when it's x squared. So this is 2x all over 5 must equal 93. So that's how you set up the equation. Now what is my next step to solve?
Well, you gotta get X by itself.
I gotta get x. So remember, you can't touch this until this is gone. How do I get rid of this 5?
You gotta
Multiply, yeah. Because this is dividing, so you multiply by 5. Multiply by 5. 5's cancels out. 265 plus 2x equals 15, carry the 1, 465. Okay? And then what do I do next?
well, you gotta minus 265.
Minus 265.
On that side, you gotta do this.
Yep. So then you get 2x is equal to 100. 200, right? 200. And then divide by 2.
Divide by 7.
So you got to get 100% on the what test?
On the 5th.
Yep. This is the 5th test. And what do you need to get on the 4th test?
104.
104
Which is impossible.
on the 4th test. So hopefully your teacher have extra credit on that test, right?
You ain't gonna look at the test mark.
Okay, so what do you think of this?
Yeah.
There's a question like this on the final exam. That's why I went over this particular problem.
It's not hard.
Okay? It's not that bad, right?
You should be able to remember how to do it.
Okay. Question?
No.
No? Okay. So, remember, when they give you the average already, add them all up, divide by the number of numbers equal to that average that was given. Okay? Any questions on this one? Okay. The last one will be on stem and leaf. Now, we talked about, well, I talked about box and whiskers for tomorrow, but today I'm going to talk about stem and leaf along with me medium mode. Stem and leaf plot,
Wait, what?
it's called a stem and leaf plot. It's another way to analyze visually what the data is. You heard of stem and leaf before? Yeah? Okay. So instead of like a pie chart or a bar graph, we gather our data and we put it in this plot, okay? So for one set of data, your stem and leaf should look like this. Now, you don't actually have to put the word stem and leaf at the top, but this side is the stem and this side is the leaf, okay, when you gather your, so this is for one set of data, okay? So let me give you a set of data here. Ready? It's 54, 44, 63, 58, 51, 59, 47, 51, 67, 50, 65, 49, 66, and 63. So those are the set of data that's been collected. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this stem and leaf plot to analyze our data. Okay? So if you notice, the stem and leaf, like on a tree, each stem has leaves coming out of them. Okay? So when I look at the set of data, I see that all my numbers are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? Everybody see that? Okay? So the stem part are your 40s, 50s, and 60s. So here's the 40s, here's the 50s, and those are your 60s, 4, 5, and 6. That's the stem part. Okay? Now, looking at all your 40s, let's look at our 40s here. I got 44, 47, 49. So the 4, 7, and 9, that's the leaf part. Because this is the 40s. So now if I want to say 44, here's 40, here's 4, 44. Okay? And then you do have to put them in order. Next number would be 47, so 47. Okay? And then next one would be 49. So 4, 7, and 9, that's the leaf part of that stem. Yeah, you have to put at least to greatest.
We can't put 4.
No, you put, because this will tell you that it's 44, 47, 49. Okay, so you just put the end part in there, okay? So now let's do the 50s. I got 54, 58, 51, 59, 51, 50, and that's it, right? So what's my smallest? 0, and then 1 here and 1 here, so 1, 1. And then, what is it? 4? Yep, 54. And then 58, thank you. And then 59. So that's the stem and leaf. Huh? Oh, thank you.
That was the quickest. That's what I was
There we go, 54. Thank you. Now we got the 60s, right? So what's the smallest 60? 3s. So 63. There's 2 of them. 63s. And then 65, 66, and 67. Okay? Stem and leaf. That's how you create it. Now, but you can't forget is when you make your stem and leaf plot, you have to give them a key to how to read this plot. So make sure, bless you, make sure you have a key for every stem and plot you make. And what you do is you just pick a number on the stem side and pick a number on the leaf side. And you point an arrow to it. That means you're going to read it left to right. Okay, and you read it as 52. That means 52 because it could be 5.2 if you read it. If you put that there with 5.2, then you read it as 4.4, 4.7, 4.9. Or if I made it 0.52, then you read it as 0.44, 0.47, 0.49. So the key is very important when you create your stem and leaf. Okay. Now this is for a 1 set of data. For 2 sets of data, it's going to look similar to this, except that in the middle of this, you have the stem in the middle, and then you have a leaf on this side, and you have a leaf on this side. Okay? So when you have your key okay? You have a number, let's say here, and you got like this. When you read it this way, it means 22, let's say, and then if you read it this way, that means 21. That's how you would do a key. Okay, huh? Oh, sorry. There we go. So here's the stem, leaf here and there. So let's say I pick some data, 2, 3, 4. This will be 1, 5, 7, 2, 3, and then this will be 3, 5, 8, and then 0, 2, 8 again. If I have two sets of data like this, and if this was my key, I would read this as 21, 25, 27, 32, 33, and on this side I read it as 33, 35, 38, 40, 42, 48. Those are the that's how you would read it.
How would
Okay?
you know which goes that direction?
Because the key will tell you. You'll have an arrow pointing like this to 21.
No,
You
I'm
read
saying
it
if
left
you're
to right.
reading it
You
off-
always start with the middle, the stem part.
I know, I'm saying if you read it off the data, that was all lined up on the side. How would you know that?
Oh, these are two separate data that they're going to give you.
Oh, okay.
So you put the one set of data on this side and another set of data on that side.
All right.
Okay, so two separate ones. You don't put it together. Okay? Now, so this is what the one set data looks like, and this is two set of data. Okay? Now, looking at, let's come back to this. Can I find my mode easily with this? Can I find my mode easily? Are there two numbers or any number that's repeated more often? Which one? 63 and 51. They have the same number. So my modes are 51 and 63 because they have the same repeated numbers. So that's my mode. Now if I ask you to find the median, it's already in order, isn't it? Least to greatest. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 data. Halfway is 7. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to put a line there. What will be the number between 54 and 58? 56. So my median will be 56. That's what you would do, right? And then if I ask for range, what's my biggest number? 67, right? 67 over here, 67. This is the biggest, this is the smallest. 67 minus 44. So my range is 23. And if I ask you to find the mean, you just add them all up, right? And divide it by 14, that will give you your mean. So the mean would be the sum divided by 14, which turned out to be 787 divided by 14, which turned out to be approximately 56.2. That was the mean. Okay? So what do you think of the stem and leaf plot?
Right. So easy.
Not too bad, right? Okay, I'm done.